All right.
All right, so I'm just going to start out with some twists and arm openers today. So we'll just open up the arms, and we're just going to gently go side to side. Now we'll stop in front in the center. We'll have arms forward, palms up. And we're going to open the arms, push the chest forward, hands back. Go back and forth a few times just like this. Good. Shake the arms out a little bit. Now I'm going to do the same thing, palms down. Let's go out, palms down. Turn the body. And we'll go same thing with the arms. We'll go palms down, open the arms up. Good. And roll out a little bit. And we'll go right into some arm swings. So we'll go small, going forward, slowly getting bigger. So we're making full size rotations. And go backwards, starting small. Slowly getting bigger. So we're making full size circles. Good. And then we'll go arm across. So I'm going to take my right arm, I'm going to hook it in with my left arm, and just gently pull the bicep back towards me. You can kind of draw this in and let it relax a few times. You should feel this all over the outside of the shoulder here. And we'll switch sides. Same thing. Good. And I'll go over the top. Arm over the top. I can hold on to my right hand to my left hand. Pull it right over the top of my head. And just gently pull down and arch my back a little bit. I'm going to feel it all up through here. And again, slowly adding pressure to this, not pulling too hard. You can come in and out of it gently. Good. Other side. Over the top. Come in and out of it. You can control it again. I'm either pulling a little bit on my arm or I'm arching my back a little bit, or any combination of the two. I can relax the hand a little bit and arch my spine to the right. Or I can pull it over a little bit, maybe a little less arching. Good. We're going to do some neck rolls. So we'll start out straight back and then roll it straight down, nice and slow. Now gently go side to side. And now we're going to start with the head down. You can just slowly start to roll this time. Now we're going to go starting just at the bottom, back and forth nice and slow, just a few degrees of movement. And we can slowly start to get a little bit bigger. Till we start to bring the ear up to the shoulder. And then gentle as we start to get up over the top of the shoulder. You don't have to roll it around at its full lean, right? If you need to start up. As a matter of fact, we can do it the other way. Let's start head down. We'll bring the head back up. Now let's go to the side. I'm going to my left, and I'm going to roll back without crossing that, without rolling the neck up and over the plane of the shoulder. And I'm not going around beyond straight back. So right now I'm just going from ear to shoulder to back. Now I'll put my head neutral again. I'm going to go off to the right, ear to shoulder, and then slowly go back. If anything feels like it's getting stuck, stop, don't push through it. Just loosening things up a little bit with a little mobility. Now if you feel like you've got the neck feels all right, then we can start to go very slowly, full roll. We don't have to hit full range of motion. My chin does not need to be all the way down, and I'm not going to cross the plane in the back, right? So I'm not going to do a full 360. I'm not going to go beyond 360. I'm going to stop with my head straight back. Again, real slow. If anything gets tight with this one, you stop. Good. And now we're going to roll forward. So we'll stand feet shoulder width apart. Bring the chin down to the chest. Let the shoulders roll forward, let the back round slowly. Hands are heavy, rolling one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. Starting to get down into the lumbar spine now. Slowly, consistently going down. Knees should stay straight so you can start to feel the hamstrings pull a little bit. So get down into the hips. Start to fold into the hips. Feel the hamstrings start to pull. Hang on those hamstrings a bit. You can bend the arms so you're not touching the ground. And just hang here. Sway a little bit. And I'm going to turn my body to the left. And turn my body to the right. Rotating the shoulders. Go back and forth a few times here. And I can reach down and touch the ground. Walk the feet out a little bit and walk the hands through behind. Palms down, fingers pointed behind me. And I can bend the knees a little bit into this. Stretch down. And as I straighten the hamstrings back out, as I straighten the knees back out and stretch the hamstrings, I'm going to let the hands come forward again. Don't touch the ground. Walk the feet back in, and now we'll start to come back up slowly. So hands are off the ground, knees are straight. Head is down, slowly rolling myself up from the hips. Through the lower spine. One vertebrae at a time. Hips start to come under the shoulders. Head is still down. Shoulders start to roll back. It starts to come up. And look up, reach back. Good. And shake out a little bit. Good. Let's do a couple of hamstring scoops just to get the hamstrings a little more warmed up. So we'll get 1 foot in front, 1 foot in back, and we'll go 10 times each leg. Just down past the ankles. Switch legs. Good. And we'll do just one more. We'll go wide stance here. And we're going to shift side to side just a little bit. So we'll go this way, down to the right, down to the left, back and forth a few times. And keeping this wide stance, go down palms on the floor. Wide enough stance that you can keep the knees relatively straight. And we're just going to shift again, same thing. So palms on the floor, as wide a stance as you can get. And all I'm going to do is straighten one knee and bend the other. Straighten one knee and bend the other. I can start to sink down a little bit. So the knee might start to come up towards my shoulder a bit. Doesn't have to get quite that high. Good. And from here, let's drop down onto the knees. And we'll do a little one-legged frog. So I have a leg out to the side. And we're just going to sink back. And forward. And again, if my knee here is a little bit over, not directly under my body, I'll get a little bit more of a stretch. Feeling this in the hamstrings, the inside of the leg, on this leg. Good, and we'll sink back into a hold on this one. Sole of my foot is staying flat on the ground, toes pointing forward. Good, we'll switch legs. Right leg out to the side, and same things. My left knee is a little bit wider, I feel the stretch a little bit more. And one more and we'll sink back down into a hold. And we'll come back up to all fours. And I'm going to bring my left leg up forward, outside of my shoulder. And I'm going to bring my right knee off of the ground. And I'm going to sink down. So dropping the pelvis down to the ground. The right knee does not need to be locked straight. It can be a little bit bent. And it can go up and down. It can go down to the ground a little bit. It can touch if you're getting tired. Raise it back up again. Sink down. Good. Bring the left leg back. Right foot comes up, outside of the right hand, outside of the shoulder. I'm going to come off of my left knee. I'm going to sink down. And bring the right foot back. And we'll come up, sit onto the feet for a minute. And we'll just do a little twisting here, just from this position. Just going to turn the body a couple times to each side, with arms outstretched. Good. Come back forward onto all fours. And now we're going to take just the left hand and we're just going to raise it up. So I'm just raising my elbow straight back. I'm going to raise it up as high as I can on all fours. Driving that elbow up through the back. Now I'm going to raise the arm up, reach up behind me. And you can do this, you can be up on all fours, or if you sit back onto the feet a little bit, it'll keep your spine sort of straight forward. It'll keep your torso straight forward and not have the hips twisting. Right? So we want to try to twist this from the spine. I'm going to reach up. If I've got my left butt cheek on my left foot, my right butt cheek on my right foot, then I know I'm staying a little bit more straight. And bring it back down. Same thing other side. Right arm up. First just the elbow. My butt is off of my feet right now. Now I can sink my butt back onto my feet and raise the arm the rest of the way up. Stretch. And bring it back down. Now I'll do the left side again, but now let's keep ourselves up on all fours, and we'll try to keep that same body alignment without sinking the butt back onto the hips, the butt back onto the feet. All right, so we're going arm up. Can have the head down for this, elbow up as high as it can go. And now reach up. Try to keep the hips in alignment. Now I'm going to take my hand that's up in the air, and I'm going to put the back of my hand on the ground in front of me. I'm going to slide it under my armpit. On this side, I'm going to go down until my shoulder touches the ground, and just kind of sit here. Head is on the ground, knees are on the ground, shoulders on the ground, back of my hand is on the ground. Now I'm going to take my right hand, and I'm going to reach it up and over. Reach straight up with it. And bring the right hand back down. Come back up to all fours. And we'll do the same thing. Right elbow up through the body. Back is arched like cat. And now I'm going to reach the arm straight up behind me. Trying to keep my hips in alignment. Now that arm comes back down. Back of my hand on the ground in front of me. I'm going to slide it under and drop my shoulder to the ground. Put my head on the ground. And just kind of sit. Exhale. Relax down. And now I'm going to take the left hand, reach it up behind me, straight up. And bring it back down. And slide the right hand back under. And let's do a couple cat-cows from this position. So around the back. And then drop the back down. Exhale into it. Around the back. Drop the back down. Inhale as you arch up. exhale as you sink down. Go. Good. And from here, we're going to sink down into child's pose. So sink back onto my heels, reach the hands out. Elbows are rolled a little bit to the ground. The shoulder blades are sort of a little bit above the shoulders, right? I'm not out here sinking down between, I'm reaching straight out. Feel that pulling underneath the lats, through the triceps. All right, from here we'll come forward. Come back into baby cobra. Arch up. I'm going to press the tops of my feet into the ground. Hands come off the ground. Shoulders back. Elbows back. And relax it. Again, sit up, chest off the ground. Hands off the ground, tops of the feet press into the ground, and bring the shoulders together behind the back. And relax it. And one more time. Chest comes up, hands come off the ground, tops of the feet are pressed into the ground. Draw the elbows together behind the back and hold it. Keep breathing. And relax. Good. All right, from here we're going to roll over. And I'm going to start with my feet on the ground, my knees bent. And I'm just going to lift the feet off the ground. Feet are still together. Arms out to the side. I'm going to take my left leg and I'm just going to let it open down to the ground. My right leg is still up. And then from here, I'm just going to rotate myself a little bit. I'm going to push my left knee to the ground and just rock off of my hip. So right now, weight of both hips is on the ground. As I push my left knee to the ground, I'm going to come up onto my left hip. And I'm just going to do that a couple times. Just push that left knee to the ground. You should feel it stretching in the hip. Both hips actually, if you keep the right leg up and straight. I'm just sort of letting the weight come off of my right hip, sort of seesawing a little bit on the left hip. Right hip comes up as the knee comes down. Unless you're very flexible and you can get your right hip and your knee on the ground at the same time. Good, and from here, I'm gonna stay up on my left hip a little bit. My right leg is gonna come up. I'm gonna use my left hand to catch. My right leg is gonna come up, and I'm gonna catch my right knee, support it with my left hand. My right hand is flat on the ground, and I'm gonna run it up and over my head, and reach up and over my head. Back of my hand is still on the ground. Reaching up, feeling this all the way up the armpit. long reach. And slowly sliding my elbow back down. Sort of goalpost position. And keeping the back of my hand on the ground, bringing the elbow down towards the waistline. And I'll rotate my right leg back over, back to center. Now I'm going to do the same thing on my right side. So feet come off the ground. Rotate my right leg down to the ground, knee to the ground. My knee is a little bit off the ground here, so what I'm going to do is just press the knee to the ground, let my left hip come up off of the ground a little bit, and just a few times back and forth. Just sort of seesawing over my right hip. As the knee comes down, the left hip comes up. And you can play around with the position of the left leg, right? You can open it. It doesn't have to be vertical. You can open it a little bit. Just go back and forth a few times in this position. Good. Now we're going to raise the right hand with the elbow on the ground. And bring the left leg up and over. Support the left leg with the right hand. Left hand is next to my body, goalpost position. Back of the hand on the ground. Now I'm going to slide up and over my head. Back of the hand stays on the ground. And reach so you can feel it all the way up through the armpit. Deep breaths while we're here. And slowly slide it back down. Back of the hand on the ground. Draw that elbow back down towards the waistline. And we'll return the knees to center. Feet on the ground. And from here, arms out to the side. Raise the feet off the ground, both feet, and we're just going to do a couple knee rolls. So we'll go 10 times each side. So we'll drop the knees down to the ground on the left, drop the knees down to the ground on the right, and just go back and forth a few times. And from this position, we're going to twist across. So I'm going to let my left leg extend straight out. Raise my right foot off the ground, knee bent, and I'm going to roll it over, twist my body, and I'm going to extend and put my toe of my right foot on the ground on the other side of my body somewhere. Knee can be bent at this point. And then what I'm going to do is just keeping the toe just touching the ground at a relatively comfortable place. Now I'm going to extend the leg, try to hold that toe in its place and stretch that hamstring. Good. We'll bend the right knee, bring it back over to center. Extend the right leg. Bring the left leg up. Reach the left leg over. Lift the left hip off the ground. Extend the leg over. My knee is slightly bent. I'm going to find a spot on the ground over there to touch my toe to. toes on the ground. And again, holding that toe in place, I'm going to extend the right leg, stretching that hamstring. And bend the leg. Bring it back to center. Do one more on each side. Right leg is extended. Sorry, left leg is extended. Right leg comes up. Now I'm going to try to find a spot just a little bit higher to put my toe on. A little bit closer to my hand. And extend the knee. Hold it. Good. Let the right knee bend. Bring it back to center. Right leg is extended. Left knee is bent. Foot off the ground. Reach across. I'm going to try to find a spot just a little bit higher this time, a little bit closer to my hand. And again, extend the leg, stretching out the hamstring. Good. Come back to center with it. And we can sit up. Let's pull into butterfly. And we'll just bring the legs up and down a little bit here. And then we'll pull the heels in, sit up, and draw the knees down to the ground and hold the stretch. Good. Let that relax out a little bit. Right hand on left knee. Left hand behind, supporting the spine straight. And we'll just do a couple little twists. Gently finding your range. And then we'll hold this one. Trying to keep the spine vertical. And other side. Reach around behind, straighten the spine. Left hand on right knee. And just gently pull into it a few times. Not bouncing. Good, and we'll hold. And relax it. Good, and let's get a little hold on the hamstring now with a little more control. So we got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and we'll just reach into it with the opposite hand if possible, pushing my heel out in front of me, extending my tailbone up off of the ground, and pushing that knee down towards the floor. Again, if you're not touching the foot, that's fine. You don't have to touch the foot to do this. You just reach forward, elongate the hamstrings. Good. We'll get the glute once. We haven't got the glute today. Pulled in, squeeze. Exhale to get a little deeper stretch. And we'll switch to the other side. Make sure the tailbone's off the ground. Good. Get the other glute. Foot over. Plug it in, sit up tall, and then exhale as you squeeze. And relax it. All right.